Now take each individual fraction and reduce it. This becomes 2. This becomes 5. And that is 4a. Two plus 5 is 7. And I want to point this out because I see this commonly on a bunch of people's papers whenever you're doing your scratch work. The way we get rid of that 4 with the a is not to subtract 4 from both sides. That says 4 times a. And the opposite of multiplication is division, not subtraction. So a is equal to 4/7, but I'm going to say 1 3/4 because I have to actually plot that on a number line. Okay? All right, now here's where the whole inequality thing comes into play. We said a cannot equal 0. So on a number line, I show where something is not equal with an open circle, correct? But we said a does equal 1 3/4. So I show that with a closed circle on 1 3/4. Now with those two dots, I have created 3 regions. I have this region. I have the stuff in between. And I have this region. Now to figure out which one or ones will be my solution, I'm going to test numbers found in those 3 regions in the original inequality. Okay? So, pick something easy. -1. All right, so all we have to do is plug it into the original inequality and see if it's yes or no. What's an easy number in here? 1. And what about there? 2. Okay, now no matter which number you choose, as long as it's in that region, you'll get the same conclusion. Yes? Because we said our restriction was a cannot equal 0. So I need to make sure I show that my solution cannot be 0. Open circle is it's not equal to. Way back from the beginning of the school year. We're going to graph x is greater than 2. We did an open circle and a line to the right, correct? If we said greater than or equal to 2, we did a closed circle. All right. This is -1/4 minus 5/8 is greater than 1/2. All right, well, common sense here is going to play into, think about this. If you add 2 negative numbers, what do you get? A negative number. Is a negative number ever bigger than a positive number? No. So without even finishing that off, we know a negative number can't be bigger than a positive number. This region is not part of my solution. Let's test the middle one. I've got 1/4 plus 5/8 is greater than 1/2. Yes, it is. All right, but let's do our common denominator here. If I multiply everything by 8, I've got 2 plus 5 is greater than 4. Is 7 bigger than 4? Yes, so this region does work. Now let's make sure that other one doesn't, or does, or whatever. Okay, here I've got 1/8 plus 5/16 is greater than 1/2. All right, using your common denominator, what's that going to be? What's the common denominator for 8, 16, and 2? 16, thank you. Which gives me 2 plus 5 is greater than 8. Is 2 plus 5 greater than 8? No. So the only region that checks out is between 0 and 1 3/4. Now, how do you write that as an inequality? Well, A is located somewhere between here, right? So between 0 and 1 3/4, sorry, you will find the letter A, or the solution, correct? Now, pointing to the left, does A equal 0? Does it equal 1 3/4? Yes. So this is your solution.
Is it like always just going to be 1?
No, it might be the 2 outside ones. And so it'll be a or statement where it says A is less than 0 or greater than or equal to. Okay? So you have to test the regions. You can't just do the regular old thing because now we have restrictions that we have to take into consideration. Before, with inequalities, we didn't have restrictions. We didn't have fractions. We didn't have letters and denominators. So the answer we got was the answer. All right. First, identify what you can't have. 0. Very good. B cannot equal 0. Next, identify your common denominator. 12V. All right, reduce each fraction. What's the first one? Plus, solve it as an equation, equals 6V. So V is equal to 1 1/6. Okay? So what do you do next?
Test.
Draw a number line. You put an open circle on 0 and a closed circle on 1 1/6. And my open circles disappeared. All right, so just to make things clearer, we're going to test this region. We're going to test this. And we're going to test this. Now, pick some easy numbers to test. -1. +1, very good. And 2 again. Huh? All right, so here we've got -1/3 minus 1/4 is less than 1/2. Without figuring that out, is that true? What do you get when you put two yes. A negative plus another negative is a negative, and all negatives are smaller than positives, right? Okay, so yes, this region works. Do not assume, okay, then the other two don't. You've got to test. This is going to give me a negative number. And all negatives are smaller than positives. Okay, so just saving you some math. Just using thinking skills here. All right, here we've got 1/3 plus 1/4 is less than 1/2. What would be a common denominator? Which is going to give me 4 plus 3 is less than 6. Is 4 plus 3 less than 6? No. All right, let's test our last one. We've got 1/6 plus 1/8 is less than 1/2. What would be a common denominator? $24. All right, so this is 24 divided by 6 is 4. 24